Right, we're back again on DR Sports. Transfer news live at 5. Myself, AGT. We have Uncle Laurie in the building as well. How are we, fella? Good birthday weekend?
I had a great birthday, but I had not such a good night last night. I had a really rough night last night, actually. Just very quickly, because I don't want to hijack proceedings.
Yeah, give them a context to your mood for
the
episode. Yeah.
My mood's lifted, but this morning, man. So basically what happened, I was coming home from the gym and I had a tyre blowout. And, so I had to pull over on the North Circular and call out the RAC, and it took hours. And basically I didn't get in till about 4 in the morning.
Car? What, a little nap in the car whilst they were
No, man. I was coming home and boom. You know what I mean? It happens. The guy from the RAC said, you got a nail in your front wheel. So I had to, you had to do the change. He was very good, by the way. But even so, it was very inconveniently.
So, let's try and keep the mood up, though. Do you know
but now I'm okay.
Yeah,
now I'm okay.
I've got to be raised for this.
Yeah. No, I've had a good sleep. Woke up this morning, saw the news. I was a little bit down again.
News? What are you talking about?
We're going to talk about it, man. But when I saw it, I was a bit crestfallen. But cup of coffee and I'm all good. It's all right.
Well, smile then. Make it look like you're on a beer. Do you know what I mean? I could get someone else.
No, I'm here, man. You know what I mean? That's life roller coaster, up and down.
Well, that's how it goes. Life is a roller coaster.
That's it, man.
Lyrics?
I don't know them.
Just gotta ride it. Come on, mate. You should know better. Anyway, good to have you in the studio.
Thanks,
right?
man.
With little sleep. But we're here. We're rocking, we're rolling. And we are live on DR Sports. So, tell us where you're watching from. We always like to get the flags in the chat, see where everyone is locked in from. It's a busy day of transfer news. I promise you this is the last video we'll do today on this story. But get subscribed if you haven't already. LL Sports is out there as well. Make sure you subscribe. I actually had Matty Renton on the phone earlier on the COP TV Live.
Was he crying?
It might as well have been. He had a wet floor sign next to him, so he must have been in floods of tears when he saw the news. But the news has changed a little bit since then. So anyway, we'll get into this, shall we? Make sure you show us some support in the chat. And we have to start, obviously. As we started in the last video, we go back to it. We'll go Newcastle, Liverpool, bit of Forest, and then other news. Right.
No Arsenal in there? No Arsenal?
Not on this sheet, but I'm sure we can find some Arsenal bits and bobs to keep the Gooners happy. We'll start at Newcastle because we'll go in chronological order. It was Eintracht Frankfurt who almost flicked the first domino. I mean, in my opinion, Gyökeres was the first domino, but they're starting to fall now, right? All these dominoes, the chain reaction. So Eintracht Frankfurt triggered the whole Isak Ekitike debacle by just flicking the first domino, which was rejecting Newcastle's club record 70 million offer for Ekitike. Matty Renton spoke to me earlier, and he said that it was a bit cheeky from Newcastle to go in that low because they knew that bid was going to get rejected. We've heard 86 is the fee that they're
Mind you, clubs always do that. The first offer it's like bidding for a car, innit? You put the first offer in, you know that the seller is not going to take it, and then you go from there.
Exactly. So Frankfurt only paid 14 million for him from PSG, and believe other clubs would be willing to pay more for the striker, who they value at 85, 86. But that was rejected. And then this morning, Liverpool approached Newcastle. Club-to-club contact was made, submitting a record bid for Alex Isak. They have communicated their interest to do a deal in the region of 120 million. That was this morning, and that was Fabrizio Romano, who I've got more breaking news from just coming into us now.
Wow.
And it was David Ornstein, so prepare yourself for this. So that happened. Then, after that happened, Bayern Munich bid 67.5 million euros for Luis Diaz. It was instantly rejected. Liverpool value him at 100 million euros, around about 80...
100 mil?
Yeah, around about 85 million pounds, probably the same price as Ekitike.
It's a bit excessive, isn't it?
Well, Ekitike is that price, so Luis Diaz is more
No, but he's a striker. But anyway, carry on.
Scored 18 goals last year. So then, allegedly, Liverpool entered the race for Rodrigo. Allegedly, again, Arne Slot is an admirer. We still know that Real Madrid are trying to force a deal for Konate. There's a question mark there. Do you sell him now and Luis Diaz and recoup? But we'll go back to Newcastle because I believe the first domino was tapped. The rest of them are slowly going to fall now. But what Liverpool have done by seeing Newcastle bid for Ekitike, they've had a little regroup and gone, right, we know that they want Ekitike. Allegedly, they want Ekitike to play with Isak in the same team, which would change the formation and all sorts. So Liverpool have gone, we know they want him. They're not going to sell us our number one target. So what we'll do is bid 120 million for Isak and test your resources. Let's see how much he isn't
Test
for
your
sale.
resolve.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know, let's see how much he really isn't for sale, because it's 150, so there's 120. Let's get talking now. And then Newcastle have gone no instantly. Then in the last kind of hour, according to Keith Downey at Sky, he claims that there was no club-to-club contact. Right. So how does that look for the wider scheme of things? It either ends this way. Newcastle do not get Isak and Ekitike. Liverpool have seen the opportunity and bid for Isak, allegedly, or not a bid, but they've expressed their interest in submitting a deal. They've inquired, they've knocked on the door, and then Newcastle have gone no. But now Liverpool could enter the race for Ekitike and take their number one target off them. But then also, if Newcastle don't sell this summer, then we could, and we get Ekitike, we've bought their replacement for Isak next summer. I actually love the kind of chess and checkers that are going on here. It's quite impressive to watch from afar and go, isn't it special how Liverpool have almost regrouped and gone, right, this is the strategy. Newcastle have got their strategy, their stance. But right now, as it seems to be, I think it gets to a point, or it must now get to a point, at some point within the next week, where Isak has a decision to make. Liverpool are clearly interested. The offer will be there. And he has to now almost come out and say, I'm staying at Newcastle, to dispel all those rumours. And where does Hugo Ekitike end up in all this? It's fascinating to watch.
It is, yeah. And I've got to say, it credit almost to Liverpool, because there's been a lot of what I would say Machiavellian activity going on behind the scenes there. I must admit, as soon as I heard that Newcastle were pursuing Ekitike,
yeah,
and I'm sure you probably felt the same way, you thought, hang on a minute, does that mean that they're preparing the groundwork for Isak to leave? Maybe Isak said a couple of things behind the scenes. Maybe he's not signed that contract yet. So they're thinking to themselves, we're not going to get caught cold. Let's move for this young kid in Germany. He's blowing up. So the reports are that he's very impressive. Shall we get in there now so that if Isak does go, we're not caught short? And I must admit, the way things are shaping up, it would not surprise me at all if Liverpool get Isak. Which for me is, because for Arsenal fans, that is very disappointing to hear, and I'll tell you why. Because initially we were linked with Isak. As far as I'm aware, no formal bids were submitted. But it's not a secret that Arsenal were admirers of Isak, and it was out there, and all the fans were imploring the club to go for Isak. We were being told, no way, he's not leaving. He wouldn't even consider it. He's taken Newcastle, he's got Champions League football, why would he leave? He's extremely happy there, blah, 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 he's settled, all the rest of it. So to hear now that Liverpool made an inquiry or submitted an interest, it's kind of disappointing as Arsenal fans. Have we lost out to Liverpool there? Because, as good as the Gyökeres signing would have been, I don't think any Arsenal fan would...
He's been your long-term main target.
Exactly. Yeah, even before Gyökeres come on the scene.
Exactly, years before. And if Liverpool managed to get Isak in and Newcastle end up with Ekitike, I do think there's a world where everyone's happy.
Except Arsenal.
Except Arsenal. I think Newcastle, in the end, accept 150 million. In the end, it's not the end of the world. Because they reinvest it straight into the next Isak, by the way, who is Ekitike. That's what the stats and pundits say.
And honestly, I would say this as well. Isak does come with risks.
He's injury prone.
Yeah. And you've got a young guy. That's Newcastle, by the way, coming in. Like I said, a lot of people are talking about him very excitedly.
Yeah.
Good numbers, apparently good attitude. Got all the minerals required, apparently.
Yeah. And actually, I know you've just said you wouldn't be surprised if Isak ends up at Liverpool. For me now, I think, and I'll put my hat on it, and this will be my prediction for what happens now, I think Liverpool end up with Ekitike and Newcastle keep Isak.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those two, isn't it? I reckon.
One of us is getting.
I hate to say this, but I reckon they'll get Isak. I reckon they will.
So I'm still.
So I reckon Diaz will leave.
Right.
You'll get a bag for him. I mean, you turned down, what was it?
56.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be 75.
That's
for
a
me.
lot, man.
You're talking about someone who's just won the Premier League. He's in the form of his life. Scored 18 goals last season in all comps as a winger. Yeah. If Rodrigo's 77, I'm sorry, Luis Diaz
How old
is
is
70.
Diaz?
27, 28.
Yeah,
so you're looking at a Gyökeres kind of level fee.
Yeah. But Gyökeres is what, 6?
But if he was 23, maybe you'd be looking at, if he was in this form when he was 23 when we signed him, then I think
there's two things 40. That go against you getting that type of money for him.
So
yeah, but that's about what I'm to say.
2022 we bought him.
Exactly. So that was what, 3 years ago when he was 25. As we know, Alex, with age you depreciate in value. So his age and the fact that he's a winger, let's be honest, wingers don't go for as much as strikers do. Strikers are
all wingers. I mean, Madueke is 55. You're telling me Luis Diaz
English
is
tax.
56.
And Madueke is only 23.
Listen, we've instantly rejected it. It's almost quite an
No, I mean, listen, and you're right to reject it because what you said makes sense about, what he's achieved. He's Colombian international. He's a very good player, you know what I mean?
But he's about to enter the best season of his career, potentially.
Yeah.
Prime time, that's what you pay for him.
But I don't think, what was it you said you want for him?
It's got to be 70 at least. It's got to be.
I'm not sure you'll get that for him.
I think
maybe 60, 65.
I think we will. I mean,
but anyway, I would imagine that Diaz is going to go, and then, like I said, that clears the decks financially, doesn't it? To have another.
Well, he's not the biggest.
Is anyone else going?
Harvey Elliott is going to go, and this actually leads me on to. Well, he could potentially go. I don't want him to go, Harvey Elliott. But breaking news in from Fabrizio is that the Saudi Pro League top clubs make initial approach to sign Darwin Nunez.
He'll go for sure.
Whilst he's been waiting for Napoli for the last month, as we know. Napoli are close to signing Luca as their new striker. Napoli was Darwin's original preferred destination, but the Saudi clubs are preparing to tempt him again now after the deal was close last January, as we remember. But I think there's two prices. There's the European price, and we've been asking for 65 off Napoli or 60. They're only prepared to go to about 43, 44. So actually they're miles apart. It's been a month of negotiating, and they've both.
Plus they don't have that budget.
Well, they've been spending big money. And also, you have to remember as well, with the Saudis, we could go to them and say, well, to you, it's going to cost 65. And I think Inzaghi wants him. So I could see it happening. So there's how much? There's, let's say, 60. There's another 60, 65 for Diaz. That shit is that money, basically.
I was talking to Curtis about this earlier. Shout out to Curtis. And we're both of the view that, as much as we hate to admit it, it's very likely that Liverpool could get Isak, and then that's a crushing blow.
It's changed a lot in the last day, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, because I never saw this coming. Although like I said, as soon as I heard that they were meaningfully pursuing Etikike, the first thing you think about is, does that mean what's going to happen with because let's be honest, man, Etikike is not coming to Newcastle to sit on the bench. No. He's a young guy. He wants to be playing. He's doing really well in Germany. He's not going to leave Germany to be a backup dancer for Isak. You know what I mean? He wants to play. So if he's coming here, uprooting, coming all the way to the north of England, you would imagine he's going to be told, look, you're going to get first team football. You know what I mean? Or, you can't guarantee it, obviously. But you know what I'm saying?
But
that conversation
on what
will be...
formation they play as well, because if you play two up front at Newcastle, which I don't believe they will, what happens to the three in midfield? What happens to Elanga? What happens to Anthony Gordon? You can't play them all.
Exactly.
So I think that was almost a smokescreen. It was a bit of a, right, we're going to, as Newcastle, we're going to pressure. We've already told you he's not for sale, but now what we're going to do is go for your target, your number 2 target, and we're going to force your hand. You now must react within a day, basically. I'm
also hearing, maybe you might know a bit more than this, but when I was chatting to Curtis, he was suggesting that in the past, Isak's kind of dropped one or two, like, I admire Liverpool, it's one of my favourite grounds to go. Is that right?
I think one of the clips you're referring to, he was being interviewed by Adam Smith on Sky, and he asked him the question, what's your favourite away ground to play at? And he said Anfield. He said it was his first game, actually, for Newcastle, I'm pretty sure. Anfield away, scores on his debut at the Cop End. and we actually beat them 2-1 in the last kick of the game. We won. And he said the atmosphere was unbelievable. So you're right, he has dropped a couple of hints, but at the same time as that, he's also in person said to Matty Renton, like, I'm staying after they won the trophy.
No disrespect to Matty Renton. I love Matty Renton. That's my guy, but come on, bro, that is not...
Yeah, that's not...
I was going to use the term of promises of comfort to a fool, but I won't go there.
Yeah,
because Matty Renton is no fool. But you know what I'm saying? If you're a player like Isak and you're chatting to a fan and he says, "Oh, please stay, come on," you're not really going to say, "No, I'm not staying."
Exactly. You're not. What are you going to say?
Yeah.
You just won a trophy. You've just given Matty Renton the best day of his life.
Exactly.
Like, you're going to keep him happy. But
so,
it's so interesting how this now. You know, the power plays now that we're seeing from these clubs. I mean, it was smart from Newcastle to bid for Ekitike, but now Liverpool have gone, yeah, cool. Watch this. And hit back. It's very,
and they can do that. They've got leverage, right?
I mean, they're
being
a big fly club on the wall in these meetings, though.
Exactly.
When they're organising this deal,
they've got leverage. Liverpool. They're a massive club, right? They're winning things. You know what I'm saying? So, and you look at the array of talent that Isak will be playing alongside. And listen, Isak is no fool. Mm-hmm. He'll be thinking to himself, "Boy, Wirtz, there's Salah, there's Virgil." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's thinking to himself, I'm going to be winning stuff. And look at it like this as well. He can leave Newcastle saying, "Look, I've delivered you a trophy. You're first in X amount of years. Delivered you Champions League football. Look at the sell-on value." You know what I mean?
You're getting a great player.
Yeah, so I've left you, man, in a great space. Okay, I know it's disappointing, but come on, man. It's not like a Trent situation where you're thinking, if you're going to leave, at least... This man say, "Look, give you a trophy, giving you Champions League football. Look at the amount of money you're making. Let me go now to Liverpool and fulfill a dream." Because players want to win things. And no disrespect to Newcastle, but he's much more likely to win things with Liverpool. And when I say things, I'm talking about major honours. He's much more likely to win major honours with Liverpool than he would with Newcastle.
Yep.
I reckon he's going. I can see a scenario
Let
where
us
it
know
does
in the
go.
chat. We could even do a poll for you. Just the final time that hopefully we ask this question today. Where does Alexander Isak end up? Is it Liverpool or Newcastle? Let us know in the chat. A couple super chats. C15 Rise says, approach already rejected, not for sale Ekitike battle. User says, if Newcastle denies the approach this summer, next summer they will sell to anyone else but Liverpool if Liverpool steals Ekitike from them. Laurie, that Ekitike pronunciation was diabolical.
What is it?
Ekitike.
Ekitike, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's quite a Ekitike. It's quite a Scouse name.
What was I saying? Etikike.
Yeah, you were saying like etiquette, but it's Ekitike.
Ekitike.
Yeah. Newcastle smart bidding for Ekitike. Liverpool got to react fast after number one Isak target approach being rejected and number two target in talks. It's risen the price up too, as well. I mean, Frankfurt were always holding out for 87 mil. So that was a bit of a low ball offer from Newcastle, but I respect the move. Like to make that move yesterday and put their cards on the table and say that, you got to ask why. Why would they do that? What are the motives? What's the reaction to this going to be? So I'm locked in and ready, to be honest. For the next 2 weeks, I think this is going to be an incredible time.
It's certainly a major twist. And like you said, it's that domino effect in it that you get in football transfers. One big name goes, you know what I mean?
I said to Robbie about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I asked him for a date. You might have been on the show, but I asked him for a date that Arsenal get Gyökeres, because I believed at that time that was the first domino.
Yeah.
And I think I said July 14th. He said 18th or something. And we're at July 15th right now, and look what's happening.
Yeah.
Stuff is starting to happen because clubs want to get this resolved in the next week to go.
Yeah,
to
you've got your pre-season stuff.
And you'd rather have him there with you, travel with you, than meet you halfway. You know.
100%.
So listen, whatever happens, this is going to go down, I think, as one of the most entertaining transfer battles of all time. Ekitike and Isak, one of them ends up at either club. And we play each other in the second game of the season, Monday Night Football. Yeah. Let's get it on. That's proper Barclays. Shout out the boys. You're keeping us entertained.
Got 15 goals and 8 assists last season, by the way.
Yep. No, it's a good return. Should have got more, probably. But on the Luis Diaz one, it was Ornstein who reported that this morning initially. €67.5 million. If he does go, could you see a world in which Liverpool enter the race for Rodrigo? Because I personally, as a Liverpool fan with some knowledge of the background workings, I can't see that happening.
Not if you're gonna. I reckon you pull your resources in to get in, because you do need a striker. Because Darwin, it has to be said, has not been the most fruitful, has he? Not been the most productive, certainly in front of goal. So you do need a killer up top, and they don't cut much more.
Killer man Isak, that's what they call him.
Yeah. So, I would imagine that would be your foremost priority.
But they would still have to go out and get a left winger.
Who would play there if Diaz doesn't? When Diaz doesn't play there, who plays there? Quality player, man.
And then if he doesn't play, you could play Chiesa there. You could play Wirtz there. You could play Rio, the young star boy that's come through.
I reckon it'd be Gakpo.
You know what? If you were feeling fruity, you could put Robbo at left back and play Kirkez there. That would be quite something to watch. But
I've got to say this, man. I know it sounds bad mind, but I hope you don't get Isak. Seriously.
It is very bad mind because you're jealous.
Well, number one, I'm jealous. It's just not a good look. Just as I thought Arsenal were making serious ground, getting Gyökeres, and then to find out this morning that, you're expressing an interest in Isak.
I kind of knew this was going to come midway towards the latter end
Did you
of the
though?
window.
Did you? Because I didn't see it.
Not that he ends up at Liverpool, but I knew someone was going to make a move, and someone had to react to that move, and this is the day that it's happened. Or yesterday was, because they yesterday.
Newcastle made it clear that they've got no intentions to sell, so
okay,
we'll see.
But the price you've quoted us is 150. So is he still not for sale now? There's 150.
As you said earlier, you're going to test their resolve.
Yes.
And that's what you're supposed to do. That's what we didn't do.
Their day, everyone has a price.
Exactly.
It gets to the point where he's really not for sale. Go on then. Let's see how not for sale he is. There's 150. That's what you asked for.
Exactly. I mean, you're very good at your job here, but I'm pretty sure if Sky Sports come knocking with that big contract, you might be tempted, even though you've got a very good working relationship with Robbie and all the guys there. If they say, listen, man, we'll triple your wages and give you this, that and the other, you might start thinking, as much as I love Diaz Sports, there is a world away from Diaz Sports. You know what I mean? So that's how you got to break it down, people. When you no, but seriously, when fans say, "Oh, he never leave this, that, oh, he loves it here," the Matty Rentons of this world, put yourself in these players' shoes. What would you do, Matty? What would you do, Matty, if you were Isak?
It's a good question. I mean, I can't make a comment, possibly, on your comments before that. I mean, now we must move on to Nottingham Forest, so there's no time to even answer.
That's an exciting one as well, man.
It is.
I've been watching that.
Nottingham Forest, this is interesting, allegedly have added Villa's Jacob Ramsey to their shortlist.
Wow.
We know their position remains unchanged, really, on Morgan Gibbs-White. Forest have been trying almost a year to open negotiations with him over a new and improved contract at the City Ground, but he's chosen not to engage in those talks. He obviously wanted to see how the season ended up. Spurs wait and watch the situation now. But it's a decent replacement, I guess, for Morgan Gibbs-White. He's a very technically good player, Jacob Ramsey.
Yeah.
And I could see him there, but it's whether they want to do business, the two Midlands clubs, with each other, and also that has to happen after the Morgan Gibbs-White deal happens as well. So Spurs are just almost waiting for that letter to come through to get their summons to court, I guess, and then they'll make the move.
Listen, this guy, was it Evangelos Marinakis?
Marinakis, yeah.
You don't play around, man.
No.
You don't play around, man. Yeah. I mean, he will do this. You know that, don't you? He's about that life.
Go all the way.
You could see what type of person he is. You know what I mean? He's shown his character a few times. He's a man that, you know what I mean? He's not afraid of a confrontation. He's very outspoken.
Yep.
He's got that FU money as well. You know what I mean? you know, man who got that FU money, they don't give a F.
Yeah?
So they're just like, you know what I mean?
Hold that cash.
Yeah, so they'll just say, right, see you in court.
Yeah. Bring your best lawyer. So yeah, Spurs are waiting to see what happens there. I mean, Nottingham Forest is still adamant that he's not going anywhere. With Spurs,
I think he will go in the end. I reckon.
Yeah, it's messy though. It's entered the messy stage. With some transfers, you go, oh wow, look how that ended. He said goodbye to the club. The club are happy with the fee. His new club are absolutely buzzing to have him in the club. Lifts the shirt up. his old club say, well done, good luck in your new club. That's a really clean transfer.
That's like what happened with Wirtz.
Yeah.
That was clean.
That's a really
clean and nice
transfer. But this one,
with
transfers, you go into the messy stages, and this is a bit
like what Jokeris is going through. That got messy. This one here is even messier. Because I must admit, when I first heard of the Gibbs White to Tottenham, I was like, right, they pulled that off. No one saw that coming. You know what I mean? And we was giving Spurs credit. Well, I was giving them credit. I said, look, they've operated in stealth.
Yep.
They've pulled off what is a very good signing for them. Because he's a good player, Gibbs White.
Yeah, very good.
Very good player, yeah. So they pulled that off. I didn't see that coming. And then, lo and behold, Marinakis said, nope. He ain't going nowhere. See you in court. You know what I mean? So I do believe that he will end up a Tottenham player. I mean, it may be one of them that the ball could be pushed over to Gibbs White. He might have to do one of them. I'm going on doing what Jokeris said. I'm going on strike, playing hardball, and it gets messy. You know what I mean?
We're in that stage now of Morgan Gibbs White. This has dragged on a little bit. We have asked you 7 minutes ago, where does Alex Isak end up? This is close. 43% stay at Newcastle. 57% goes to Liverpool. And big up DR Sports for saying AGT is on a lifetime 360 contract. He ain't going
what's
nowhere.
The release clause though? What is the release clause?
Them Suge Knight contracts, 360 lifetimes. I don't know if I even want to sign that. Big up Deo says, say what you want about AGT. A lot of people do. But he's an absolute legend of this channel. And I had to read that one. It's just a good...
I bet you did,
yeah, it's just nice to read sometimes. No release clause, says DR Sports in the chat. Big up. But on that Morgan Gibbs White one, when do you think this gets resolved? Because again, Spurs, they're kind of accruing Kudus. They're making it a really exciting time. He's obviously like, I want to go and join up with my mates. Obviously, he came through the ranks with Brennan Johnson as well, I believe. Yeah. So give me a date. Give me a date where
I reckon this one will
finished.
get messy, but I reckon it could be down to Morgan Gibbs White standing his ground and saying, look, I want this move. I've given you everything as a Forest player and a captain. This opportunity's opened up for me to play Champions League football. I want this move. And then try and appeal, because from what I understand, he has a good relationship with Marinakis. So he might need to go in there and say, look, I know it's a bit messy and all that, man, but please.
Please, man's begging out here.
Yeah, that's serious.
Palms are open, come on, man.
And if Marinakis, stands his ground and say, look, you're a nice guy, I love you as a player, but I don't like the way Tottenham are carrying on. I'm not going to allow this to happen on my watch. Then it goes back to Morgan Gibbs White. He might have to do that. Well, you know what? I'm not coming back to training now.
And then it gets nasty when that happens. But Jacob Ramsey's kind of watching this situation as well. In other news, Jordan Henderson signs for Brentford. Keith Andrews, the new manager at Brentford, has been quoted as saying, he's still phenomenally fit. He's still got phenomenal ambition for the game. He still wants to achieve. He comes in as the number 6 to replace, not necessarily replace Norgard, but take his shirt number, but also be that, that
he is
experienced
a DM,
leader. He's a DM, but 35. I mean, Norgard is 31.
Yeah.
Can you replace a 31-year-old with a 35? I think he's come in more to be the guy behind. He might not play every game, but he'll be that guy behind the scenes, keeping everyone ticking over. I saw a clip today from Ben Foster and Tom Cleverley, and they were both together at Watford, and we beat Watford 5-0 at Anfield in Klopp's.
You had to get that in, didn't you?
No, but the story is about Jordan Henderson, what I'm referring to. So if you just let me go full circle,
you had to slip that one in.
I'm paraqu-quoting what they said in this pod.
Right.
So Ben Foster himself says, we're 5-0 down and came off the pitch. Salah, I think Mane scored a hat-trick. They came off the pitch, and he says, and Tom Cleverley says, who were on the same team that day, they said every single player in the dressing room was blown away by Jordan Henderson. They said he was like an on-field manager. They said if he was standing at the edge of the cliff with all the Liverpool boys and he said, I'm jumping, they'd all go with him.
Really?
They said it was unbelievable. They were blown away by it. That was probably 5-6 years ago, and he's obviously a lot older now. But in terms of having, I think that's such
must be those
underrated
attributes
signing
that impressed Thomas Tuchel, because
he's still around, isn't he? He's still on the scene, and this is a move that I read this as a move to say, I'm going to the World Cup next year with England.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's what he wants. And Brentford is, let's face it, it's a great move for him. Premier League football, Brentford's, I know they've got issues to resolve in terms of personnel they're likely to lose. I mean, it's very likely they're going to lose Mbeumo. They've lost Norgard. There's even talk that Wissa could be on the move.
But they brought Kelleher in. They're trying to get maybe Amari Hutchinson in to replace Wissa.
Yeah, I heard that.
They're trying to create a new era. And this era with Thomas Frank was a 9-year era. So it's a new, fresh start. Do you know what I've just realised as well? Jordan Henderson, Sunderland. Jordan Henderson, Liverpool. Jordan Henderson, Ajax. Jordan Henderson, Brentford. Red and white stripes.
Yeah. Interesting.
Apart from Liverpool, but still red.
Yeah.
He kind of messed it up by going to Saudi, and he had a loan spell at Coventry, so it kind of breaks the pattern a little bit. But I
can see where Keith Andrews would want that. That makes sense, given what you said about his leadership skills. If you're a young manager taking over, you want somebody. I assume they're going to make him captain because Norgard's gone.
So.
Yeah. So he will carry out the manager's instructions on the pitch, and what you just said there alludes to his leadership attributes. It kind of makes sense. Yeah, I can see that working, to be honest. I can. But they need more, though, Brentford, because they've got...
Yeah, of course. They'll need almost like a 24-year-old energetic box-to-box DM to come in and almost be that guy. And Hendo comes on maybe 60, 65 minutes, sees out the game, starts in cups, that kind of role. But I agree, to have him as a captain with his experience that he's accrued over the years, that's a really good move.
I think so. I mean, Brentford do recruit well. I mean, a couple of seasons ago when they lost Ivan Toney, people, that's a big loss. Got to be honest, man. Last season, those two, Wissa and Mbeumo, they didn't miss it. They didn't miss.
19 each, I think, in the end. So
he even had Mbeumo taking penalties like his predecessor Ivan Toney, and scoring them.
So, interesting one there. We'll see how that finishes with Jordan Henderson at Brentford. In other news as well, Christian Mosquera, he's confirmed.
Yep.
He's leaving Valencia. He's on his way, or he's in London currently, probably at London Colney, signing the contract, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. Very astute signing this, 13 million up front for a very promising Spanish centre-back who, again, has played a lot with Dean Howson. He's going to be a good player this
absolutely. I think the only slight concern Arsenal fans have had, and you can't blame them for thinking is that's the long-term replacement for Saliba, because he's a right-footed centre-back. Where does that leave Kivior as well? I mean, I know Kivior's a left-sided centre-back, but you've got another centre-back coming into the fray. So our first-choice centre-backs will be Saliba and Gabriel.
And then Mosquera, Kivior.
And then, so I reckon you could see Kivior. He can do, but he's probably more likely to play right back.
Yeah. So,
but if you're Kivior, you're thinking even more competition. I was barely getting any games anyway. I know he played some games towards the end of last season, and he did well. But let's be honest, that was only because of Gabriel's injury.
Necessity, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Let us know about that. Sticking with Arsenal, they're set to approach Palace again to say, basically, I know you've got a release clause of 68 mil. Do us a little deal, and we'll have him. Do you genuinely still think that Arsenal, one, need Eze?
Yeah.
And two, if you get Eze in, is that the end of the window after that? Do you think that's your spending done? If you manage to strike a deal, because Palace are in they can just say no. They'll be like, no, the release clause is the release clause. Don't mess us around.
That's right. With the Eze thing, it's been somewhat frustrating because we got linked to him. Everyone got excited. Then it went cold, and then of course
got Madueke.
The Madueke thing come out of the blue, and that kind of hit everybody for six. And there's been a lot being said about Madueke. And at the same time, the interest or the buzz on Eze has diminished somewhat, and that's left a lot of people worried. So listen, man, I want us to get Eze. I really do. If we have a transfer window, think of it, yeah? So we kept her in goal, we needed him. Zubamende, we needed him, because obviously Partey and Jorginho are gone. Norgard, I would see as a replacement for Jorginho. That's good. Gyökeres, obviously we needed a striker. Great news, that is. If we can get Eze and Madueke, I think that's a really good transfer window. But we need Eze. We need him. Because I don't think the Rodrigo thing's going to happen.
Where would he play?
Who?
What position, Eze?
Left-sided forward, stroke winger.
Left-sided?
Yeah.
Not central?
Yeah, I'm going to say he can play central as well. I mean, don't forget, we still do have a couple of very good wingers there in Martinelli and Trossard. And I've not seen any evidence so far of them leaving. There's been talk about Trossard might go, then that went quiet. So there was talk a little bit about Martinelli at one stage going to Bayern, but that's...
And Trossard as well.
Yeah.
We've heard in more recent days as well, too.
So if we bring in those 5 players, Kepa, Zubimendi, Norgard, Gyökeres, actually 6. Madueke, that's 5. If we get Eze on top, most Arsenal fans will be over the moon about that.
Yeah, I'd say that's a 8.5 out of 10 window. 9.
And I think, to be fair to Madueke as well, there was much said about a lot of negativity around that signing. But I think, on reflection, a lot of the misgivings and negativity around that was because we'd been led to believe that the Eze thing was on tap. That went quiet, and then all of a sudden Madueke came out of the blue, and that wrong-sided a lot of the fans. If we get Eze and Madueke comes in addition, everyone will be happy again. More than happy, I'd suggest.
Well, there you go. Let us know, Arsenal fans. Eberechi Eze, vital, needed. How much is it going to cost?
Both of those, vital and needed.
In Laurie's opinion, what position would he play? Who would he almost come in for? And how does that one end up? And what price would Crystal Palace be willing to decrease to? That's the big question there, because it's...
But I would say in order to fund those signings on the FSR and all that, surely Arsenal have to start looking at letting a few players go. I mean, there was talk of Zinchenko leaving, there was talk of Kivior going, Trossard you mentioned. There's a couple of guys that have been out on loan for Arsenal, have not played in a minute. You know what I mean? Reece Nelson. Even guys
could be
like...
used as a make weight in the deal.
Yeah. Even guys like Sambi Lokonga. Fabio Vieira, you know what I mean? There's a lot of guys that need to be offloaded as well to make these deals happen.
Yeah, the poll was finished. It ends up 57 goes to Liverpool, 43 stays at Newcastle. And I do think we've not heard the end of that one.
What do you think?
I think we get Ekitike and Isak stays.
Oh, really? Would you be happy with Ekitike?
Yeah.
Ekitike?
Yeah.
It's an upgrade.
We're either
on
getting
Nunez.
him or Isak. Who would I prefer? Probably Isak, but I'm trying to almost
definitely Isak.
Be... Because I think Newcastle... Do you think, actually, let me ask you, do you think Newcastle and maybe his agent will almost say to him, come out and say you're going to stay?
Yeah, I think there'll be a little bit of pressure on him.
And then everyone just shuts up then.
Yeah, because if he does that, then Liverpool think, okay. But then at that point, they might say, right, Ekitike, like you said. So it's a bit Machiavellian, man.
And there could be an opportunity if Isak does stay and then gets off next season somewhere that isn't Liverpool, because hopefully Ekitike would hit the ground running, where we've already taken their replacement. So it's interesting, the power plays that are going on here. I'm really fascinated to see it.
It is, man. It is. But I think if you give them the money that they're asking, or near that, I reckon they'll sell.
Yeah.
I reckon they'll take Ekitike.
Yeah. Do you know what it reminds me of? The Coutinho situation. Maybe not to the point where, I mean, Felipe was faking injuries to get out at the end, but what he did do us a favour with is 6 months before he went, signed a 5-year deal. So we get 140 million, and the rest is history. We reinvest that into Alisson and Van Dijk. Newcastle could do something similar, maybe not to win the Premier League, but if they get in 130, 140 for Isak, you get Ekitike, and you build up from there, and you know, you reinvest that money and you go, actually, maybe that was his price. Like, we're happy with the money and Liverpool can have it.
So how are you going to fund all this, though? Does that mean Konate goes to Madrid?
Well, that's another domino, because Liverpool will sit down with him and his people, if they aren't already, and they're going to say, look, if you think you're walking away for free to Real Madrid next year, there's no way. So if that is what you want to do, tell us now and we'll sell you now. And we'll get the most money in for you now, like today. So the money's there. If you bring in cash for Konate, which I still think is a long way away from happening. If you bring in the
how much did you get for Kwanzaa?
Got 30 for Kwanzaa.
But then you did spend 130 on Wirtz.
Yeah, but we also got 100 mil plus for winning the Premier League, and we didn't spend any money last year. So the money's there, man.
The
money's there.
The bag's there. Yeah?
It's there. The lone Frijole, nice name, says, do you all think that Liverpool is only pushing for Isak and stirring the pot to halt the purchase of Ekitike so they don't lose out on both? There's definitely something
As
there.
I said, there's a lot of Machiavellian activity going on. But,
it's cloak and dagger.
It is.
But played out in the public, really.
Is.
So we're just.
But I reckon that someone somewhere has said something. I mean, like I said, Curtis said that he cited an interview. You just mentioned it as well, that Isak.
Yeah,
he may have said something recently to one or two people. Maybe the agent has said, look, he's not signed it, you know. That's, you know what I mean? He might have had that conversation. You do know he's not signed the deal yet. So technically he's, you know.
He is for sale.
Yeah, and Liverpool said, right, you know what? Let's test their resolve. Let's see how much they really want to keep.
Exactly.
So it makes sense.
It does make sense, though.
Just wish Arsenal had done that.
Yeah, just so interested to see how this one ends, because at this stage I'd be happy with Ekitike or Isak, but now it's like, let's put some cojones down on the table. Who wants him the most? And is there an opportunity for Newcastle to say, cut all the crap, say you're staying and sign a new contract? Yeah. That would be something as well, by the way. But he does have 3 years left, so at the minute the ball is in Newcastle's court. But I think the parties involved, Isak, Liverpool and Newcastle, the external party is the agent who knows all the information, and he could be the one to almost rock the boat, like you say, chuck in a few little feelers out there, and all of a sudden in a week we could see a very different landscape.
Could do. But I must admit,
signed a contract with,
as I said to you earlier, as soon as I heard that Newcastle were interested in Ekitike and had made a bid for him,
domino effect. The
first thing you think was, well, how's that going to work? Because I've got Isak, so my man's not going to come here to sit on the bench. I don't think so. Then there was that, they can both play together stuff. But then, like as you said, Alex, I can't see Newcastle playing that way.
I can't either. Just a quick one on Jarrell Hatto. Allegedly, Chelsea are holding new talks with him. He is obviously a centre-back on Arsenal's radar, on Liverpool's radar. But Chelsea have had a chat. They're looking for a versatile left-sided defender. Ben Chilwell and Vega both expected to leave. Obviously, Cucurella is there. But a versatile left-back or centre-back, that's what they're looking for. 50 appearances for Ajax last season, 6 caps already for the Netherlands at 19. Contracted another 3 years and does not have a release clause. Ajax are quoting clubs a little bit of an inflated price of 60 mil, but he should be around about 40 mil. But no Premier League club has yet placed a bid for the Eredivisie Talent of the Year.
Yeah, he comes highly recommended. That's another watch this space
for Liverpool.
Yeah,
perfect. But Mark Gahey, that one's gone a bit quiet now as well.
It's going to be quiet. At one point, I thought that was pretty much a done deal.
Yeah, me too. I think there's almost like a defender domino effect going on and a striker domino effect going on. So honestly, I'm actually so excited to see how this one ends. I don't think it's one that if he stays at Newcastle, people can go, hold that Liverpool, you missed out, because we're kind of. They're forcing us to show our hand, but we're also forcing them to show their hand. So it's quite an interesting battle going on here.
It is.
And we'll keep an eye on it, obviously. But guys, big up to watch. Big up for watching DR Sports Live at 5 transfer with myself and Laurie. So much content we're putting out at the minute. So show us a bit of support. Smash that like button. Go and subscribe to LL Sports as well.
Please do.
Tomorrow is a Wednesday. We'll have 2 more transfer shows for you. Tomorrow, I believe, we've got a Chelsea fan on tomorrow who can maybe explore this Hatto stuff with us as well. And then Thursday, we're back in for the show, and then everyone goes off to tour next week. So it's going to be a rotated lineup next week, but still fantastic content that we're putting out here on DR. Laurie, big up your goddamn self.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I always love talking about stuff like this. Interesting. So, and what's makes this even more interesting is that every day there seems to be another story floating around.
So guess what? We'll carry on making the content that you want. So show us that you love it.
It's the gift that keeps giving.
It is. Come on. Right. See you soon, guys. Take care. All the best.